Today on the Bob and Tam Show. Bing!
I was hoping you'd forget about that.
Today we're going to be talking about two products. One is the RAM mounts for you mounting your phone or your camera, or they sell all kinds of stuff. And the other one we're going to be looking at is Rickrak. They also have a setup now for GoPros and Osmo Actions and cameras like that. So let's go take a quick look and I'll show you what we got.
Stay tuned. Don't forget to subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and ring that bell.
So today, I bought a kit from Rickrak, which is going to be flashing up right now on the screen. I bought, and for years I've been using the RAM mounts. Haven't been so happy with the RAM mounts. I'm going to flash up some pictures here of some of the different mountings that they have. Probably spent a lot of money on these things. I know some of the extensions were 18 to 20 bucks each, and I still use them in my truck. It's a big windshield that you're shooting through, so it's a lot easier to position the camera versus on the bike. We're going to show you that. So what we're going to start out first is I'm going to show you what I got from Rickrak, and we're going to show you how I put it on, which only took me probably, I don't know, 5 or 10, maybe 15 minutes to put it all assembled and get everything to put together. And then we're going to go out on a ride, and I'm going to show you how those three mounts work and how they look with the camera. And then we're going to go and talk a little bit about the RAM mounts, and then at the end I'm going to tell you which ones I like better. So let's get to it.
Get to it.
First step is we're going to go ahead and remove the Torx bit screw that's here on the visor. So the screws removed, I went ahead and took the washer that was on it. We're going to go ahead and use that just to put in place, just to give it a little extra hold. You then find the stud, which you're basically going to need to have a 1/2 inch sticking out after you tighten it up. You could use Loctite on this if it's something you don't plan on removing. So let's go ahead and do that. After you go through it, you'll find about a 1/2 inch, probably a little more than a 1/2 inch there. But you've got, I put the tin washer back on, and then you put the rubber on top of that. And you screw the base on. I also used a wrench I had to go ahead and tighten this up pretty tight. You know, you don't want to tighten too tight, you don't want to bend your chrome, and you don't want to break anything off. And when you assemble it, you're going to see that you cannot tighten it up tight enough to get it to stay in one position. So they give you this fine wrench that you can put on here that will give it the extra grip, and it's tight. So it's ready for the camera. Then you can adjust it how you want. Then you take the little wrench, tighten it up. It's on there really snug. There's no vibration other than what the motorcycle's gonna. It's gonna do a really good job of staying put. We're gonna do some test driving with this and let you know later on how it all held up. Also, we have the Osmo Action cameras, which it will fit those also. All right, you're gonna go ahead and remove the front fender washer and bolt. They had some Loctite on here. Let's see if we've got some Loctite to put on here. All right, we did find some Loctite. We'll go ahead and screw this guy in. And we'll go ahead and put the wrench on it, give it a good tight turn here, get it nice and snug. Of course, I'm using my fine tools that I carry on my motorcycle, which are always not the highest of quality. Gonna put the washer on there, put the rubber on there, the washer, the rubber. And then we spin it on. Okay, I'm just going to tighten it up to where the set screw is here on the outside. That way it's easier for me to tighten it up. And then I'm going to put these on the inside just to keep things out of the way. So from there, we've got it all mounted up. This one here, I'm probably going to put my Osmo down here that's got a case to protect it from the rocks and debris that might come flying up here from the road. But what's nice about this is once you kind of get this all straight how you want it, you're done adjusting. The only screw you'll have to just use is the one that's the thumb screw here to take the camera on and off if you take it off the unit. You can also get ones that have the cages where you can just open it up. You might just leave your cage on here all the time, which that's a possibility if you had a metal cage, which I think one of the ones I just bought is a metal cage, so that might work out really good down here. So installation was really easy on these. It worked out really well. I do have the third one, which is a clamp, which I'll probably not leave on permanently, but we'll see how that one works out. So we also got the bracket one that came with that kit. You know, I may end up putting something back here to follow us from going behind. Or like I have down here is where I had the RAM mount, which like I say, I'm not real pleased with those just because you just can't get them in the position that you want to get the camera where you want. This one here I'm going to switch over for my phone mount. But when you do that, let me show you what that looks like. So this is the setup for the ram mount. What ends up happening, I can never, with the unions and stuff that they have on here, I can never get this perfectly straight. So in editing, a lot of times I have to straighten it up, or you'll see the cut on the windshield that I'll have to, you know, adjust in editing to get rid of that. So that's one of the reasons I really thought I'd like these ram ones. We have them in the truck. They seem to do just fine in the truck because it's not bouncing around as much. Plus I have the whole windshield. So we'll still probably use them there. But for the motorcycle, I'm just not really happy with them. And I think with the Rickrack ones here, they're going to turn out to be a lot better setup. One, I like it because of that wrench. You can tighten this up. I don't have to worry about somebody coming along and swiping it unless they have a wrench or a pair of pliers with them. And the one down here, this is going to be interesting to have the one down here at the wheel. I do like it that it's turned nice and straight. Here's where I had it before, and I had a short mount here. Now here's the setup with the ram setup. See, the problem with this is you just can't really get it because of that swivel that they make on it. You just can't really get it where you really want it to be, see? Now I can go that route with it. But I mean, it's a lot of fumbling around, tightening this, tightening that to try to get it just perfect. That's what the ram mount kind of comes in place, that where once you kind of get it set where you like it, it's going to be there all the time. You're just changing out the thumb screw. This one, I can take the thumb screw out, it would be true enough, but then I'd have this big old stick sticking out. Where I think on the ram mount, I can get it more up. See, that one there, it would end up hitting more of the box. So, like I say, I'm just not real happy with these because I just can't really get them in the position that I want. And but you always constantly tighten them up, and I'm always worried about the vibration on these coming loose. And this here, excuse the bike being dirty. I haven't had time to clean it this week. We had rain Wednesday. And so here's kind of how the setup I had. See, when you tighten it up, it wants to swing out. And yeah, you can keep turning it and playing with it. See, now I can't get it up. I can't get the camera up anymore. So you kind of have to find the best of the worlds to get this one adjusted. And that's kind of the problem that I've kind of had with the ram mounts. That I just haven't really been happy where they put them in. You're very limited with this ball where it's got the slot in it. It's kind of like a puzzle. You got to get it just where you want it to do the job you want it to do. So that's why I was kind of looking for something like this. Off of Amazon, I actually bought a few things. This one brand is called Small Rig, it looks like. This was another one, didn't really even have a name on it. Both of these just was too much slop in here, and my camera bounced all over the place, and I wasn't able to get steady shots with it. So try to stay away from buying things off of Amazon. I could probably have sent this back, but they weren't that expensive. The Rickrack does have a guarantee on them, which is kind of nice. I'm going to be pretty happy with the Rickrack setup. I think it's going to work really nice. So, you took a look at all this setup. You might be different than me, but I mean, when you're looking at those rubber balls that the ram mounts make and the little slots that they have in there, it's really hard to get it in position on your bike, to get it perfectly straight. I've just had a lot of issues with it. And what I really like about the Rickrack is once I've got it all set and everything's tightened down, all I got to do is remove the camera in and out, other than the back mount, which has got that clamp. But the two mounts on the front, mainly I always use the one that's on the fairing. That's mainly my main camera that I use probably 80 or 90% of the time, unless we're going to go on a ride like out in Sturgis, out there on Needles Highway, Iron Mountain. I'll put that lower one down and also put the one in the back because there'll always be people coming up on us. So those are some kind of really neat shots that I can get, but typically it's the one that's on the fairing all the time. And now with the Rickrack being mounted on the front, I don't have to deal with the windshield anymore. So there's some really neat things. I really like it. That whole kit was $129.95 plus the tax. But the ram mounts, I know I've spent $200 or $300 for all the accessories that I bought. There's a couple things that I've got that I'll show later on that I still like with the Ram mount. They've got a suction cup that works really good for mounting on the side of the trailer, on the truck, on top. That works pretty good. And the ones that's on the dashboard work pretty good. And we'll show you those maybe in another time. But at this point, I'm sold 100% on the Rickrak. So that's the one that I'm going to highly recommend. And once again, we are not being paid by Rickrak to put out this video.
Nope, no endorsements here.
So with that, we're going to leave you right here
with our honest opinion. So thanks for coming along today. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Share us with your family and friends. Give us a big thumbs up. Ring that bell for notifications, and we'll see you on the next video.
And we'll see you in a couple days.